things for you. If you were born in the 80s,